Яг одоогийн нөхцөлөд ийм сонсч ирсэн юм байна л да. Бүр нэг хэдэн оны үеч хэмээ. Одоо яг Герман улсын одоо үндэсний мөнгөнд тэмдэгт нэг шудаа одоо мөнгөнд тэмдэгт нь $1 тэмцэх хэмжээнд ийм байдал хүрч исэн гэж ярьж ирсэн тэгэхээр тэр юу гэж хэлсэн юм бэ? Зүгээр Монголын яг одоогийн байгаа нөхцөл байдалтай холбоотой л сонсоод байгаа. Тэгэхээр яг Монголд одоо үүсэж байгаа нөхцөл байдал гэхээр ерөнхийдөө сайн нөгөө хилээдсэн шүү дээ одоо зарцуулалт нь
эдийн засгийн буруу бодлого хэрэгжээд байна гэж харах.
Энийг л тасарчихсан гэхлээр
She says thank you for coming and visiting this school. She's asking, since you are visiting School of Economic Studies, how do you feel about the quality of economic policies in Mongolia?
Well, there are many aspects which I don't overlook. I can't judge on the quality. There are only some aspects which I find a little bit problematic. What I find striking is that the relationship between private consumption and public infrastructure is not right. You spend too little of your wealth on infrastructure and too much on Japanese cars. No? These things have to be in better proportion. I am surprised to realize that Mongolia borrows abroad, given that it is a resource country. You have revenue from royalties from the mines. So this revenue should be used for infrastructure, for the government budget, and that should be enough. You should not, in addition, borrow from other countries. Because if you borrow from other countries, you make yourself vulnerable. When the credit expires, you will have to ask for new credit at higher rates of interest, and again new credit, and again higher rates of interest. You become dependent. The burden of interest will be higher and higher, and in the end you will be risking your sovereignty, because then you have to borrow, let's say, from states rather than in the market, and then these other states have a hold on your country. So I would strongly advise not to begin the borrowing business. That is very dangerous, as the European crisis shows. The southern European countries all borrowed in other countries.
Do you want me to translate it now, or do you want to ask your questions and ask me to translate afterwards?
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, let's make best use of this time.
Тэгэхээр сая нөгөө нэг дотоодын нөхцөл байдлаас ерөнхийдөө зээлэхгүй байх гэсэн талаар ирсэн баг тий. Тэгэхээр түрүү нөгөө нэг одоо тансаг хэрэглээний барааг их хэрэглээд их оруулж ирээд ингэж ингээд хийж штэ. Тэгэхээр яг энэ байдлаас одоо гараад гарахын тулд ч юм уу энэ тансаг хэрэглээгээ багасгах нөгөө талаас энийг одоо энэ дээр яаж анхаарах хэрэгтэй вэ? Энийг одоо
You said there is too much consumption. The consumption is growing so fast. Is there any way you could limit this growth of consumption, especially these luxury goods and this expensive housing? How do we prevent from this housing bubble?
Yeah, so we need, Mongolia needs higher interest rates. It is wrong that the interest rate for housing is 8% while the inflation rate is 14%. An interest rate always has to be higher than the inflation rate, never ever lower, because that is a subsidy in real terms for construction. If you have a construction bubble, it will burst, and when it bursts, it will hurt lots of people. It will hurt the banks, it will hurt the savers, it will create a big recession in the economy. All these dangers can be avoided by cooling down a bubble. No? And so higher interest rates would be necessary. Also, the government should not use money it borrowed abroad to pay cash to the people. This is further stimulating the consumption. It would be much better to use that money for infrastructure projects or to build up a sovereign wealth fund. Actually, all resource countries in the world who are well run have sovereign wealth funds. The Arab countries invest their money in the world capital market. Norway does that. Chile does that. So some of the royalty you should use to build up this sovereign wealth fund. It has an advantage for future generations. When the mines are exhausted, this wealth is there. One can live on the interest rather than on the substance. Also, a sovereign wealth fund is good as a buffer. Resource prices, commodity prices go up and down, so it can be used as a buffer. It is very useful to do that. But I would never borrow.
Бас нэг зүйл болохоор нөгөө түрүү хэлжсэн чинь нөгөө яг Германы хувьд яг адилхан дотоодын зах зээл дээр илүү төвлөрч одоо хөгжүүлдэг.
I would like to add, actually, the sovereign wealth fund should then be used to build up a funded pension system for the so that old people can live on that. Yeah, sorry.
Дотоодын зах зээл дээр анхаарах хэрэгтэй нөгөөх нь эсрэг юу харьцуулж хэлээд л да. Тэгэхээр дотоодын зах зээл дээр илүү анхаарах, дотоодын одоо бизнес үйлдвэрлэлийг хөгжүүлэхэд илүү анхаарах. Энэ дээрээ одоо хөрөнгө оруулалт тавих жишээ нь төмөр зав авах мөнгийг авахаас илүү хүмүүсээ сургая гэсэн жишээгээр ярьсан шүү дээ. Тэгэхээр энэ дээр тэр хэр сонирхолтой байна.
Зүгээр одоо энэ нөгөө барилгын салбар засгийн газрын дэмжлэг үзүүлээд байна шүү дээ. Тэгэхээр барилгын салбар чинь одоо дэмжлэг авахтаа таатай олж байна тийм. Ингэж нэг талаар дэмжиж байгаа боловч одоо тийм нийгмийн хүн асуудлыг шийдэж байгаа. Энэгээр бол ямар нийгмийн засаг шийдэх So энэ чинь нөгөө юунууд чинь барилгын компаниуд чинь ерөнхийдөө одоо сонгуулиудаар нэлээд мөнгө зарцуулсан шүү дээ тийм. Тэгэхээр засгийн газар нэлээд нөлөөтэй байж магадгүй гэдэг ийм асуудал байна. There is a general feeling that this construction business has very strong hold on the government because it contributed a lot has been contributing a lot to the elections and the current policy of subsidizing the mortgage rates, paying the difference between the actual rate and 8% is actually a reflection of that a strong bond between this business and the government. On the other hand, the government is justifying for subsidizing this housing program is that in the winter times we get a lot of pollution for burning coals and it might have very strong negative evidence on Mongolian population in the future. Do you think the way the government is apparently solving this problem is the right economic solution to this?
Again, I don't think subsidizing interest rates is useful. In particular, if you have already a housing boom, you don't want to ignite it further. My impression from talks which I had here in Mongolia is that it would be useful to regulate the housing construction better. So you need city planning with zoning, make sure which houses and which office buildings and which factories can be built. So not that everything is mixed together, that is not good. Include planning for good road infrastructure, possibly an urban railway system to transport the people, and increase the quality of the housing. Quick construction is not always the best. No? I think I would more invest in quality, and that all these things would slow down the process a little bit. It is for me incredible that it is possible here to just build a house without a permit by the government. If that is true, but it seems to be the case that often houses, even skyscrapers, are built without a permit. This is not possible. It should not be done that way. Wir müssen gehen.
She's saying that the government taxes income, salaries, but it doesn't tax property incomes. Would that be contributing to the housing bubble?
I don't know if that is the case, but certainly all incomes have to be taxed, whether it's property income, whether it's labor income. My general impression is, though, that the taxes are not very high in Mongolia because there is a huge black economy, an informal sector. So that explains also what I see with my eyes, this high private consumption level and the poor development of the public infrastructure. Every Mongolian seems to have a mobile phone. Everyone seems to have a flat TV. In Germany, we are not that rich. Not everyone has a flat TV or a mobile phone. Many people don't. I don't have a flat TV. No? So but I think it would be better to invest in good housing and good infrastructure. That's enough.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to ask more questions for her, but the time.
Good.
Do you have, please give your name first? Баярлалаа. 혹시 энэ дэлхийн эдийн засгийн